Hi, everybody. I hope this is coming out okay. This is Andy Woodworth from Neighborhood Church with a Thursday thought from a pastor. It is day 9,457 of our quarantine social isolation stuff. And if you're like me, my brain cells have somehow turned to a kind of strange goo. Which is weird, right? I like using my brain, and normally I think I'm pretty good at it. But these days, there's so much happening and so little happening that our brains aren't able to work the same way, and that's okay. I was reading a post by a friend, Laura Jean Truman. If you don't know her, you should check out her stuff online. She's got a cool blog and she writes great stuff, and she's wonderful. And lives very close by to us here in the neighborhood. And she was saying that in her prayer time, she was brought up evangelical and was basically taught that prayer needed to be lots and lots of words, lots of lists, lots of special words and phrases that you say, the kind of special language that you talk to God with, and that sometimes you just run out of words. And y'all, my brain cells goo, and I get it. That includes even prayer words. Sometimes you just run out of words. But so this is what I wanted to kind of bring to you today, is thinking about how is it that we can use the words of others for our prayer and for our time with God. It doesn't have to be a list of words. You don't have to have words at all if that's what you need, because what prayer is simply intentional connection with God. And that can be conversational. I would remind you that conversation involves a two-way kind of process. So sometimes prayer can be you saying things to God, but also God saying things to you, if your heart is still enough. But also, thankfully, there are ways in which we can use the words of others to have a framework and a help in our time with God when we don't have the brain power or the heart space to be able to say words. So thankfully, there's a lot of words in this here book. This is a Bible, and most of these words, I will say that, most of these words can be very helpful in the right context and space. They can also be really hard in a space that's not the right space. So just own that too. So I want particularly to commend to you the Psalms. The Psalms are the songs of Scripture. I mean, there are other songs throughout Scripture, but it's like a collection of songs. And this is a way that you can let your heart be filled with the songs of others if you need. And so I commend to you a kind of habit of breathing and reading, and then letting your mind rest and your heart be filled with the presence of God. And so I'll show you how to do this just by a sample. This is Psalm 139. And I invite you to listen to this, to breathe in between the lines. Let your brain rest so you don't have to worry about what does that mean in Hebrew and what did the scholar intend and was the author David or blah, 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 blah. Just let that part rest and just hear it with your heart as well as your ears. So listen. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in, behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you're there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become night, the night is as bright as day to you. Even the darkness is not dark to you, for darkness is as light to you. For it was you who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. That I know very well. My frame was not hidden from you, and I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes beheld my unformed substance. In your book were written all the days that were formed for me, when none of them as yet existed. How weighty to me are your thoughts, O God! How vast is the sum of them! I try to count them, and they are more than the sand. I come to the end, and I am still with you. Friends, in every moment, God is with us. We are being held by God, even when it seems like there's darkness all around us. And when our thoughts run out, and our brains turn to goo, and you got to figure out what you're having for dinner, and it seems like the hardest thing ever. Y'all, God is with us. We are not alone. In the beginning and in the end of all things, God is here. So thanks be to God for that. Y'all, rest with God today. Rest and breathe and let God be God. And you can just be you. And that's good enough. Talk to you later, friends. See you soon.